So, this week we are going to learn about chemical bonding, and chapter is 13. So, just give the introduction for chemical bonding and some topics we will be discussing in our online classes. Only two topics we will be discussing in online classes: octet rule and Lewis dot structure. We'll be learning in our online classes. Remaining topics we will be giving as a video. So first I'll give the introduction for chemical bond. So what is bond here? Bond to keep something close. Okay, to keep something close. So what is here something? Atoms. So to keep the atoms together we need bonds. That bond is called chemical bond, and they have some force of attraction to keep them together. And when two or more atoms form a molecule, okay, two or more atoms bind together to form a molecule. So two or more atoms are close together because of force of attraction, and that attraction is called chemical bond. Okay, and there are two types of chemical bond. One is strong bond, another one is weak bond. So depending upon their bond, their characteristic will be differ, their properties will be differing. Okay, if you take strong bond, what do you mean by strong bond? They are very strong, we cannot break them easily. And coming back to the weak bond, it is very weak, we can break it easily. Okay, so what are the strong bonds here? Ionic bond, covalent bond, coordinate bond, and metallic bond. So these are strong bonds. And what are weak bonds? Hydrogen bond, van der Waals interaction. So these are the strong and weak bonds. And next we are going to see about ionic bond or electrovalent bond. What is this ionic bond? We already know that a bond is between two atoms or two or more atoms. Am I right? So, ionic bond is also a chemical bond formed by the electrostatic attraction. So, these all attraction between whom? The attraction between positive and negative ions. Okay, the bond between the ions is called ionic bond. Okay, the bond formed between two atoms. So one or more electron from be transferred from outermost cell of one atom to the outermost cell of the other atom. So what do you mean by called my outermost cell? Valence cell. What's that? Valence cell. So the bond between the ions is called ionic bond, and this attractive force is due to electrostatic. So that bond is also called as electrostatic bond. Okay, since valence concept, valence electrons, we are discussing about valence electron, it is also called as electrovalent bond. Okay, and we will be now discussing how these bonds are forming. So let me discuss about the formation of bond, ionic bond. So consider two atoms A and B. Let A has one electron excess. Excess means you don't want to use that in the bond, and B has one more electron not sufficient for B. So now here we can just give the excess to the needed. Am I right? B does not have one electron, but A is having more. So A can lend to B. So atom A transfer one electron to the B. Then both atom will be stable. As a result of this electron transfer, A will become positive ion and B will become negative ion. If someone is giving, they are positive. Do you have positivity on you? So you will give something to others. When somebody is getting that, their negativity is going on. So they are negative ion, you are positive ion. And positive ion is called cation and negative ion is called anion. Okay, and in general, ionic bond is formed between metal and non-metal. Okay, positive and negative ion. So usually where do you find this bond? Between metal and non-metals. Okay, so ma'am, one molecule have ionic bond, and what we can call about that molecule, that is called ionic component. If some substance have ionic bond, then specifically they call it as ionic component. And what are the ionic components? Group 1 and group 2 elements in the periodic table or ionic component. Okay, group 1 and group 2 elements in the periodic table are ionic component. So we will be discussing two formation of ionic component. One is NaCl and next one is magnesium chloride. So NaCl is nothing but sodium chloride. So for sodium, atomic number is 11, and if you see the arrangement of atoms in the orbital, first 2 electrons is placed, next 8 electrons, and next one more electron in the valence shell, and next is chlorine. So chlorine has 17, that is atomic number. How it is arranged in the orbital? 2, 8 and 7. Am I right? So in sodium there is one excess of electron. So that is giving to the chlorine and they'll formed as the sodium chloride. And if you see the resultant sodium chloride, what is that? Sodium will be cation and chloride will be anion. Here, since sodium is giving one electron, it becomes cation and chlorine is getting one, so it is called anion. Similarly for magnesium chloride, and notice the difference between sodium chloride and magnesium chloride. So magnesium in NaCl only one chlorine atom and magnesium it is two chlorine atoms. Okay, this is a difference between the one molecule and two or more molecules. Okay, so here what happens? See, magnesium 282, the arrangement of atoms, and in chlorine common 287. This 2 excess 2 in the magnesium will be shared equally for two chlorines. So arrangement is over. If you notice the resultant, the two red colors, they have differentiated with the colors. In magnesium we have 2 excess that is joined with 2 chlorine. So arrangements are completely over. So this is an example of ionic bond. And what are the characteristics of ionic bond? So what are the major characteristics? Their physical state, their conductivity, melting point, solubility, their density, hardness, and their reactions. First, we will see about physical state. So they are together with a strong electrostatic force. So they have well defined geometrical pattern. So that is called crystalline solid. They'll be in a crystal form, and they're crystalline and solid, so ions are tightly packed, so they cannot move, so they do not conduct electricity. Since it is in a solid form, it cannot move, so it do not conduct electricity. And how about their melting point? You already know that what is melting point. So strong electrostatic force between the cation and the anion holds the ion tightly together. So very high energy is required. Okay, so they have high melting and high boiling point. See, notice all because of due to strong electrostatic force. Solubility. So ionic components are soluble in water. So water is called polar solvents, and insoluble in non-polar solvent like benzene and carbon tetrachloride. And how about their density and hardness? Have Since the particles are tightly packed, they have high density. Okay, and they have highly brittle. And reactions, ionic components undergo a rapid and simultaneous reactions. So they'll be doing very fast. So this is all about ionic bond.